No.
Well, thank you everybody for coming in. I'll speak up not only for the mic list, but also for the folks waiting in the back there. You guys got a little teaser to who I am earlier, a couple weeks ago. So I speak here, I've done this and been there and done that. All of which is just to say, I've been an agent since 2002. I know the problems that we all face as agents, and I try to solve those problems with AI. So rather than introducing you to shiny little objects, like we can make fun videos of like King Kong and stuff like that, and they'd be like, well, how does that actually change my business? What we're going to try to do today and over the course of the next little time, if you work with me, is to solve actual real problems with AI. So we'll apply the AI to stuff that we actually do. So I think we can all agree, kind of like Houston, we have a problem, which is that we're all too busy. A third of the room left because they're like, hey, I either know AI or I don't get AI, I don't see the need for AI, or we're too busy, right? Have you ever been too busy to take a class you really wanted to take? Have you ever been too busy to, go to a birthday party? Or it's probably not because like, hey, it's a birthday party. But in general, like we're so busy. And when we're busy, marketing is inconsistent. Follow-up is too slow. You get overwhelmed from tech. Clients are confused and there's a time drain. And when you read that the average agent in the United States is closing 2 to 4 deals a year, some part of me wonders, like, what are they busy doing? But Compass agents are actually busy, right? You guys are actually closing deals. You're closing 10, 20, 50 homes a year. You guys are busy marketing. You guys are busy. You know that the biggest job that we have is prospecting and then converting those clients. So what we're going to do, what happens when you're busy is we get on this roller coaster. The commission roller coaster, right? You're really super busy. You've got like 3, 4 listings and you're not doing your marketing because you're paying attention to those. Or you've got 2 buyers and a listing and you're so busy doing that you forget to like prospect. But you feel that 90 days later. And now when your deals are closed, you have no pipeline because you were kind of busy handling your deals. And then we have missed leads, burnout, and dropout. And one of the things that got me really excited about AI was like trying to address that dropout, right? If so many people have that dream of being an entrepreneur and controlling their own life and controlling their own dreams, and yet 85% fail and fall out in 2 years, somewhere we're missing the mark. So the future is saving time. And I put these guys on here because they're my why. I used to have a team of 10 agents, and for a 90-10 split, I would do everything for them. I'd edit their photos in Photoshop, pre-Canva. I would create 6-page brochures and do the 3D Matterport tour and do the video editing. So I'd put them to bed at 9 and I'd stay up till 2 doing all the creative work for all my team. And then they'd wake up at 5, I'd be up at 5. So I'm operating on 3 to 4 hours of sleep for a couple of years. And they're like, dude, you're really depressed and you're tired and you're angry all the time because you're tired and you're too busy. And a really brilliant coach one time told me, he's like, Rick, would you rather be the world's best real estate photographer or would you rather take pictures of a kid on the beach? Light bulb went off. I got rid of 5 agents that weren't making any money. And I started sending my photos overseas to be edited. Because I was doing all the window pulls. I was doing all the white balance, right? Because photography is my passion. It's a hobby of mine. But now I could go to bed at 10, upload a bunch of photos, wake up at 8 a.m. and they were edited for $40. I got my sleep back. And that's kind of the delegation mindset I want you to start thinking of with AI. I delegated to a person, and I do have an outsourcing company with virtual assistants in the Philippines. But you can delegate with AI and have AI save you so much time. And getting that time back can save relationships. It can save your health. It can save so much. And so I got really excited about it because I don't know about you, but texting didn't give me any time back. Email didn't give me any time back. YouTube didn't give me any time back. Social media didn't give me any time back. It all just started robbing more and more time and taking me away from the $500 an hour work of being an agent, which is sitting across the table from Jamie, building that relationship of know, like, and trust. And then they trust me with the biggest financial decision of their life, and they do it over and over and over again. That's our job, imparting that wisdom, interpreting market data. And we're going to teach you a little bit how to do that today. But my job is not posting hamburgers on Instagram. That makes me no money. My job is not editing pictures and becoming having really good, cover art. That's not my job. That's $8 an hour work, or that's free with AI. So the path forward is AI saves you time, money, and it gives you a better experience for you and the client. So the 12 problems we're going to address in the 2 hours today address finding and attracting clients. That's 80% of our job, right? Nurturing is staying top of mind. That's still part of that whole wheelhouse. I'm going to go into 12 things right here. I don't think we'll get into converting today, but I do have like 30 more classes that teach on that. So to give a little brief orientation to ChatGPT, I just want to spend like 3 to 5 minutes here because some of you are like, dude, I'm in ChatGPT 8 hours a day. I'm fine. Others of you are like, what is a ChatGPT? What is AI? So this is what kind of ChatGPT looks like when you log into it. ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, all of these, Perplexity, Claude, all of these AI models, artificial intelligence, are generative AI, which means it's generating kind of thought from all of its knowledge base. And it's read billions of books, it's read millions of books and billions of website pages, and all the models are kind of trained differently, and all their statistics are going to create slightly different results. Because it's all based off statistics. What letter is most likely after this letter? What word is most likely after this word? What sentence is most likely after this sentence? That's how it generates the thought. It's generating new ideas. But this is what a ChatGPT window looks like, and it looks very similar to the other models. But in the middle here is what's called a chat window. They designed it to be in the center because Google trained us that that's where it should be. And when I say you're chatting, all that means is you're typing something into this box. This box chats with a virtual digital person. Think of it that way. So just have a conversation with it. There's no need to code. There's no need to program. You can just write in native language like you would normally speak. You can have typos, and I'll show you how that works. QR code here, because I forgot to do it beforehand. Scan this, because I was on the first slide. Scan this, and you get a copy of all my slides. Right? So all the slides, I'll give you a playbook from today as well. I'm transcribing all of these notes. So all of this will go into a playbook, and I'll share that with you. So scan this. I just ask for your name, phone number, email address, and I will send you all of that. But what I've done here is I've popped up a couple of windows. I'm letting people scan that. Popped up a couple of windows here that are just pop-up menus that I've just made them all pop up at the same time. And right here is a plus button where you can upload pictures and PDFs in the paid version. I think it's just pictures in the free version. ChatGPT, the paid version is $20 a month. It is the best $20 you can ever spend on your business. But there's deep research mode. You can create images. You can do web research, all this stuff. Up here, it just recently converted to ChatGPT 5. The benefit for you is that it now automatically decides between all of its different models which one it should be using. Before you had to know advanced mini research, advanced mini research, like all these different modes. You're like, I don't know which one I'm going to do. I'm confused. They just made it really super simple. And then down here, when you click on your little name here, and you go into customize ChatGPT and settings, that's where you can start entering some information about how it's going to interact with you. You can tell it who you are. You can tell it who you want it to be. And so, people say, hey, I'm a luxury realtor in Highlands, and this is what I do. There's a little character box there where you can fill it in. And I don't know about you, but I don't know how to do something I haven't done before. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, there's a little custom instruction box. What am I supposed to put in there? Can you ask me some questions so that you can design like the little thing that I'm supposed to put in there so I have the best one possible? So that's just kind of a little orientation to ChatGPT. Over here at the top, you can do new chats. You can close the sidebar here. Then there are the custom GPTs, projects, and then all of your past chats. There's also a little button up here called search chats, which I think is a really genius thing that they introduced because you can just type in like blog, and it'll pull up all of your chats related to blog, and you can find the ones that you want to dive into. So again, scan this QR code if you haven't already, just to get the slide deck from today, and we will move on. Finding and attracting. All right. We're going to cover a few different things here that kind of relate to these 6 lessons, all relate to problems we have with finding and attracting clients. The first one, anyone ever wonder, like, I don't know what to post on social media? Am I the only one? Right? I don't know what to post. I don't know what my clients are interested in. And people tell you, well, you just create a 30-day plan with ChatGPT. Do I know what someone wants to read 28 days from now? I have no idea what the market is. I have no idea what the political climate is. I have no idea what happened to interest rates. I want to write about what's happening today and what people are talking about today. So one of the things I like to do is I go to Answer the Public or Google, and if you type something into Google, you know how it also has people also ask? So I'll copy out all those people also ask, and every time you hit on one, it gives you like 2 more. So I'll do that a couple of times. It'll give me 10 questions that people also ask related to maybe interest rates or Denver real estate. I'll screen capture all of that and I'll put it into ChatGPT and I'll say, transcribe this for me. This is what people are asking about. I want to write about this because that's low-hanging SEO fruit, search engine optimization. It's low-hanging SEO fruit. People also ask. Everybody's tailoring like the big guy. But what about all those people also ask questions? Or Answer the Public, you can put in Denver real estate. It'll give you 128 things people are asking about Denver real estate today. And I think they have a deal right now. It's like 118 for a lifetime access to that. Because I went on to do it last night. So it's like, wow, this is so much good information, right? I want to know, microscopically what people are asking about. So if I start scheduling out, I want to do Market Monday updates. And I can program and schedule. I'm going to show you a tool where you can schedule out your social media posts. If I want to do a Market Monday update, I can go to Answer the Public, Google People Also Ask. I can drop these into ChatGPT, and I'm going to teach you how to create an article from that, or 4 articles from that, and then schedule them to be posted every single Monday on every single platform. And I can do it. I did 3 of them while I was watching the presentation today. I'm going to show you that. So let's dive into what that actually looks like. So I can say gobbledygook prompt. Does anybody remember when I taught that a couple weeks back? What is a gobbledygook prompt? Yeah. No, go ahead.
It's where you're like, give me a prompt and you just throw in like a whole bunch of stuff. And then it includes this, right?
Absolutely. So you type in your gobbledygook. This is what I want to do. Just your natural language speak. And you can actually, there's actually a little microphone button, so you can click the microphone and dictate it. Microphone, ChatGPT, I want to do, go back to the beginning of it, say, please create a prompt that will create a blog post, then supporting social media posts for a given topic. It gave me this prompt. I used to teach how to make this prompt. Now I just teach that. And again, you can get all the slides from this. But now do you think this prompt, which is like PhD level prompt, is going to give me better results than my elementary school level prompt? But you only have to be elementary school smart. Now ChatGPT is going to give you that. And when it created, I said the topic is, should I sell my home financed at 3% and buy at 6%? I'm scared. Laura, stick around for one more second. I want to show you something. All right. I'm scared, and it doesn't seem to make much sense. My kids just went to college, just me and the hubs at home. And it created all of this content when I used that prompt. But what I wanted to show Laura, and why I embarrassed her and asked her to stay, was I took content from today. I just took pictures right in here in my phone in my ChatGPT, and I already had a blog prompt created. So I already had that chat thread going. And I said, please create a blog post based on these slides. That's all I had to say because it already remembered from the chat thread that I had that whole blog prompt in there. And it started creating this blog post. Introduction to Market in Motion, Current Mortgage Rate Snapshot, Fed Governor Fired, Politics Meets Monetary Policy, right? Just what he was talking about, but all I did was snap these 3 slides within my ChatGPT. Another one, these 4 slides came up about doing a bridge loan with Origin Point. So I said, hey, now another article explaining why Origin Point loan is better than bridge loan based off of these slides. It started kicking off a whole blog, all the supporting social media posts while I'm here in the meeting. And I can be active and proactive rather than use all the wisdom Origin Point give me. Last one, I said, market update. This slide means nothing to a consumer. Absolutely objectively squat, right? Interpret this for a home seller. It already knows what I'm doing. It already knows my blog from the chat thread. And now it kicks off all of this stuff. What it means for you as a seller. Buyer activity is softened. Home prices are stable. Big picture for sellers. I just wanted to show you.
Thank you.
All right. So you can take live content from your sales meeting and dynamically change it into something you can use that day. And those 3 slides, even creating the slides for the presentation with the chats. I did it on my phone. I had my laptop open. I refreshed my laptop screen, and the article was there on my laptop because the accounts are tied together, right? So I can sit there and right after the sales meeting, because I want to pay attention to whoever's presenting, But right after the sales meeting, I have blog articles, I have social media posts I can kick out from title, from origin point, from the appraiser, or from any visiting expert, and actually leverage the expert in front of the room, as opposed to just sit there and say, that was nice, right? Because how many people were going to use those brilliant slides? Probably not very many. I'm not a hand raiser, so I'm going to stop asking. But if you can get this going and say, hey, I was just attending a market update meeting with my title company and my lender. We were all sitting down. There were like 40 of us in a room. We were powwowing, and this is what the market update means for you, Mr. Seller. Now you're showing yourself as the expert, right? So does this like kind of show you how fast you can do it, as well as show you how relevant you can be today? You can capitalize on today's trends. You can capitalize on today's slides. One of the ways that I post this then is with a tool called realestatecontent.ai. And realestatecontent.ai has you can schedule everything out. Think of it like Canva meets Hootsuite or Sprout Social, or one of those tools you might have heard about, Meet Edgar. If you scan this, they're having like a free presentation going an hour long into what I'm going to talk about for 3 minutes, and they're going to do it just for this office. So that's just like a free, no obligation, 1 hour presentation with the owners of this company, because I like them, they're good guys. But you can customize your fonts, your colors, your brand, your logo, your call to action. And when you get those Market Monday updates, you can input it right in there. I mean, they create all this content for you if you want. They've got brilliant AI. I just am so used to creating my own and tailoring it that I just post my own in there. And then I can schedule it out week after week after week. They've got 4 times more weekly posts that when their users start using them than what they did before. Users report saving 10 hours a month and 90% see results in 30 days. So it's a way, if you delegate this out to a VA, a virtual assistant, it's a way of seeing that your VA is doing their job, because you can see all the scheduled posts. But it'll post to LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all across all the different platforms for you, give you images, give you titles, give you Instagram carousels and all that. So I just recommend this tool because I think they're good guys and make a good product. So listing copy painting. I've been doing real estate since 2002, and I'm really tired of saying light, bright, open floor plan, chef's kitchen. And I can't think of any other words to use to say that, but it's kind of like everybody's kitchen's white, everybody's cabinets are white. What am I supposed to say about this thing, right? So my description started getting a little too cliche and a little too bland. So AI can transform that for you. I'm going to show you how live here in just a second. So what I do, and again, if I'm going to do anything twice or more than once, I'm going to create a custom GPT around it. And I have a whole class that teaches you how to do a custom GPT and goes into greater details. But think about a custom GPT as like a little digital agent that does one thing for you really, really well. And you've trained it, and you've schooled it, and you've given it a knowledge base. And now everything I'm doing with it, just a chat, and I can do these chats over and over and over again. But everything I'm doing with a chat, I can embed in a custom GPT and do that much faster because I don't have to retrain it every time. But what I can do is I can say, please create I start with I want to write to somebody. So I did this experiment last night. I was putting in a private exclusive, and then I said, Compass, write my listing description. And Compass AI wrote the listing description. And then I tried it my way. And not to diss Compass AI, because I'm on the beta team, and I'm going to start teaching you guys all that stuff. Because all the stuff that Robert was introducing kind of at the retreat, that's going to be really, really cool stuff. But for right now, I said, I want to know who I'm writing to first. I want to write one-to-one. I don't want to write one-to-many. Mercedes sells a $90,000 car. Honda sells a $60,000 car. They have similar features. But they're writing their copy differently. They're marketing it differently. They can hit different price points, right? So Kia versus Mercedes, same thing. Kia's saying, hey, we're going to take on this price point, or Genesis is taking on this price point and trying to undermine it, but they're writing one-to-one. So if you're not a car guy, forgive me, but I said, please create a buyer persona for this address, and I give it a little stats. Now, earlier in this chat thread, I'd said, please create a prompt that will create a buyer persona. And then I started using that. So in this chat thread, I've already got a little bit of history. But I said, please create a prompt that will create a buyer persona. What's a buyer persona? A buyer persona is somebody, like, I know what coffee they drink, I know what books they read, I know their hopes, their fears, their dreams, their desires, their goals. without having to do all that research on the Highlands, and then on Sloan's Lake, and then on downtown Denver, and then on City Park, and then on Cherry Creek. I can have ChatGPT create that buyer persona. Now it says, okay, here's a buyer persona. Jake and Melissa Carter are a couple in their late 30s with 2 children. They primarily work from home. Their combined household income is 250 to 300. Blah 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 blah. And it goes into their hopes, fears, dreams, and desires. Then I uploaded pictures of the listing, and I said, please create a listing description for this property. Now, already in this thread, I said, please create a prompt that creates a great listing description. And it created that prompt, and I've been using it. So now that I've been using it, I can just jump into that chat thread or into my custom GPT, and I can say, here's just a little bit of details about the home. Here are the pictures. Here's the buyer persona. And away it went. And it wrote a much better listing description because now it had a story arc. It was addressing someone's fears, their concerns, their dreams. And it wasn't just a list of features that I was getting out of like AI create a listing description from all my facts because I gave it more information. ChatGPT will actually read all of these pictures, the aerial, the exterior. I recommend aerial, exterior, kitchen, bedroom, living room. If you give it just those 5, it knows the architectural style. It knows if it's light and bright. It knows the flow of the home. If you have a floor plan, upload that. And then have it address, and I said, address it to the buyer persona, and I copied in the buyer persona because I want it writing that listing description to that particular buyer persona. Or I might throw in 2 buyer personas and say blended. But now when I'm marketing that home, I have much more robust copy. And then it was for fun. I just took the Compass AI I wanted and this one, and I threw it in ChatGPT, said compare and contrast the 2. And it told me all the different ways that this one ended up being better because it had more emotional appeal, because it had more narrative, because it was like pull it on the emotional strings. And we all know that stories sell and facts tell. So it started telling a little bit more of a story. Another thing I do is if I'm in a listing interview, I was interviewing in City Park for this listing. It's $1.5 million home. Beautiful home, but it's about 15, 20 years old. So I was walking around and I said, hey, I'm going to use my otter.ai to take some notes because I don't want to miss a single word you're saying. And all the wonderful features you're going to describe about the house. I don't want to be so busy writing that I'm not like hearing you. So do you mind if I transcribe this meeting? Oh, no problem. So I just put on a microphone, I'm transcribing our conversation. I say, by the way, do you mind if I take some pictures of your home while we're going through it? So I start snapping some pictures. Why? Because I'm going to use those pictures to help write a listing description before the professional photographer comes out. But I also said, well, we're going for 1.5. How do these brown cabinets resonate with you? She's like, well, I don't know. I've thought about painting them. I don't know if I should paint them. So I said, well, hold on a minute. Let me virtually paint them. And I asked ChatGPT to change the cabinet color. And I said, it takes a minute. So I just set down my phone and we kept walking around. I came back and I said, if you, and this is like the little wet bar area, I said, if you were a buyer researching homes at 1.5 million, which of these would pop off the page at you? I did this live in her house on my phone. I didn't have to call Box Brownie and pay $25, right? I didn't have to like send it overseas and wait 48 hours. In my phone, it did this. Is it perfect? No. But does it visually tell the story? Yes. So now I let her decide whether she wants to spray paint her cabinets or not, professionally spray her cabinets white or not. But that's something you can do right in a listing. Another thing I do when I'm on listing interviews is I take all the pictures and I upload the pictures. I make decluttering guides. Right? Here's how you get ready for the stager. Here's how you get ready for photo day. And room by room, I have ChatGPT look at the photos and create a little guide that I can export to Google Docs and then PDF print or whatever and send to my client. But room by room, I can automatically create a decluttering guide. Tell me which pictures should be removed. Tell me what cabinet surface should be cleaned off. And room by room, I had some clients moving for the first time in 30 years. They were terrified. They printed off my list, checked it off. They said, Rick, it might take us 6 months. They called me back in 2 weeks and said, we're ready to go. Because they just followed the guide and it wasn't as intimidating when they had a guide, right? And that's what we are for people. We're guides for the client. Another example, up in Boulder, I'm about to do I just went private exclusive on this one last night. This was a photo I took of the home and I had ChatGPT stage This is one I sent off to Box Brownie, paid $25 for. Pretty close, right? Scary close. Now, I'm actually going to use the Box Brownie one because I know the dimensions are 100% accurate. And ChatGPT kind of played with them a little bit. But if you're trying to like virtually stage something live for a client, show them the potential of their room, if you could do this on your phone, why wouldn't you, right? The room was vacant. Yeah, the room was empty. Sorry, good point. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you get better results on ChatGPT if it's empty, I think. Box Brownie can do it if it's, if there's furniture or not. I can take a picture of this room and completely transform it with Box Brownie. ChatGPT, I might take a few more iterations to get it perfect. And it's funny, it's the first time ChatGPT put a picture right on top of the windows. So it's not perfect, right? You might have to iterate a couple times. There will be problems. There will be trials. Making sense so far? Am I going too fast? I want to, part of this is not to teach you everything you should be doing right now, but I do want you walking away from today with two things. One is your mind is just blown open by the possibilities of what AI can do for your business. And if you're not using it, what your competitors are using it for and why they're going to smoke you. The second thing I want you to do is come away with one thing you're going to do this week to actually use AI. Two things if you're super, super ambitious, but one you actually will get done. So maybe it's like remembering, hey, listing photos, or maybe it's decluttering guide, whatever that might be, the listing descriptions to a buyer persona. Just remember one thing, because otherwise this whole fire hose is going to just flood the room. You guys aren't going to do, it's going to be like, wow, it was a great presentation. We didn't do jack diddly with it, So do commit to doing one thing. So video nightmare. A lot of times people say, Rick, I freeze on camera. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too tall, I'm too short. I didn't shave today. I don't want to shave today. My hair's bad. I'm going to get my haircut tomorrow. I'll make my videos on Friday because that's when I'm perfect. Oh, I don't know. I don't look good on Friday, right? So now your whole social media calendar is all jacked up. So there are a couple of different ways to go about that. One is you look the way you are. People love you already, so just embrace that, right? You are the way you are. You talk the way you talk. Your voice is the way it is. Just get comfortable with who you are. The second thing, though, is that you can overcome the what to say by using a teleprompter on your phone. And so there's a company called bigview.tv, bigvu.tv. So I'll go into ChatGPT, and when I've done my, that's weird. When I've done, having a little connection issue there. When I've done my blog post and I've daisy chained it, so now can you create that blog post? Can you take all that content and recreate it now for social media? Recreate it for Facebook, LinkedIn, Google My Business, Instagram, TikTok, all the different channels. And it's going to write in all the different styles to all the different addresses and all the different demographics that are hovering around on all those different social media platforms. I also say, please create a 30 or 60 or 90-second narration-only script or narrator-only script for a teleprompter. Because if you say just create a script, it'll go into director, camera angles, and all this crazy stuff. So just say, hey, I want a 30-second narrator-only script. Give me 5 hooks that are mildly alarming or shocking, because it won't create a good hook for you if you don't. And you only have 2 seconds to get someone's attention. So draft that 30-second script and give me 5 hook options. Then you post it into bigview.tv. And I don't know about you, but whether I'm jacked on coffee or I'm nervous, sometimes my hand shakes when I hold my camera. So I'll just pin it against the wall, or I'll put it on a tripod, and I'll pin it against the wall facing a window so I've got nice light. And then I hit go. And the teleprompter screen will start going on my phone. And you can adjust the size, you can adjust the line width, or the line spacing, you can adjust the speed. And it takes you 5 or 10 tries, but you find out what works for you. And all of a sudden you realize your eyes are doing this while you're reading the teleprompter. Well, BigView is smart enough, you hit eye correct and it locks your eyes right on the camera. It'll automatically correct your eyeballs doing this and lock you straight in, so you build that trust with the person. So the teleprompter, with some simple hacks, can give you that 30-second video of you reading that and putting yourself out there, so people see you, they hear you, they see you smiling, they start to build. So by the time they call you, they already know you. And now it's just a matter of you losing the deal. So the other way to do it is with like an avatar, which you can see right down here. And I don't do it live because there's always transmission issues and then kind of like, my lips never match the sound. But avatars with a company like HeyGen or Synthesia, DID, there are a lot of different companies out there. But avatars are not those blue, long-legged people flying through the jungle shooting spaceships. Avatars are like a digital version of you where you record, you get your hair perfect, your light perfect, your sound perfect, you perfect, your shirt perfect, everything perfect for one shot. You do like 45 different tries and you're happy with one. You're like, oh, that little 3 minutes is the best version of me ever. And then you can use that over and over and over. But you don't have to go through all the 6 hours of getting yourself ready and the headache and the stress and the sweating and the stomach upset of trying to get the video right. Now you have a little avatar of you that can do that over and over. And you can do yourself in like 3 or 4 different outfits. And now you or a virtual assistant in the Philippines at $6 an hour can type something in and your avatar now speaks in. Your hand gestures, your mouth is moving, your face is moving, your face is relaxing. It's amazing. And on a 55-inch screen blown up at full size, is it perfect? No. But as a little circle, as an explainer at the bottom of a big thing, can you tell? Absolutely not. So now you can be on video on every one of your presentations using an avatar and never have to get on camera ever again. You just have to get on once. Does that sound kind of cool? Some people it creeps out. Other people are like, oh my God, I'm going to be on video 5 times a day now. This is awesome. And for like, you wear a black shirt if you're a guy, black shirt, black hat, that's my look. Women, it's a little more challenging, right? You might want to have 4 or 5 different like avatars to play around with. But it makes like video production so much easier. Creating guides. Some people might call these lead magnets. Everybody know what a lead magnet is? It's a way of doing a value exchange. So in the beginning, I showed you a QR code and I said, hey, I'm going to offer you something so much value. My 2-hour slide deck, all of my presentation, I'm going to give you that. That's my value. What I want from you is your name, phone number, and email address. Value exchange. This is my lead magnet. If you're creating a lead magnet, so you can see it works, right? I offered you something of more value than your protection of your personal information. And I did that on purpose because I want you to feel this because the home seller and home buyer in Denver will do that too. If you give them something of so much value, they will tell you where they live, how fast they're moving, their phone number, their email. They'll say, yes, I consent to texting and emailing you, but you have to give them something of so much value first. Well, how do you do that? A buyer's guide or seller's guide for keeping current matters probably won't do that. Right? Because 45 other people in this neighborhood are doing that already. I love KCM. Sorry, guys. Great company. And it kind of gets you from 0 to 4 if you're not doing anything. But if you have a buyer persona for Cherry Creek, or a seller, let's go with, anybody want a listing in Cherry Creek, right? What's the average price point in Cherry Creek right now? Bueller?
Million.
Probably $1.5 million, $1.7 million, something like that, right? So if you want a seller in Cherry Creek because you want a $1.7 million listing, I'm going to write a seller persona for Cherry Creek. And then I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what are some things I can write about? Or I'm going to go to Answer the Public. I'm going to go to Google. People also ask, right? I'm going to find some topics that people are actually talking about right now. And then I say, please create a prompt that will create a guide, a 10-page lead magnet for a real estate agent. I will enter the topic and create a space for the topic. So now I've got this wonderful prompt to create a guide. I can tell it I want it to be 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages, whatever. I drop in my topic and I add my persona. And now I've got a 10 or 15, 20 page PDF written in 30 seconds directly for that seller on a topic that's trending today. And then I can ask ChatGPT, hey, by the way, tool right next to the plus button in the chat window is tools, create an image. Can you create an 8.5 by 11 cover art for this for me? And I should have included one here. I will the next time. It created just fantastic cover art. And so I can take that, I can drop it all into a Google Doc, make it a PDF. And then there's a company called ManyChat. ManyChat, so you could make it look 3D like I did with this book right here. You can put it on a phone. So people think, wow, this is really something special, right? And it's something you haven't even created yet. But now ManyChat, I'm sorry for all the sort of Wi-Fi interference here, but ManyChat will automatically deliver that for you. So if you've ever seen somebody say, hey, I just created the ultimate seller's guide for people in Cherry Creek who don't know if it's a good time or if they should wait, whatever, ChatGPT will write that better than I just did. Hit yes in the comments if you want a copy of my guide. Someone drops yes in the comments, ManyChat automatically replies to that and says, hey, great, shoot, pop your, I'm going to send you a DM. In the DM, it asks for the email. Someone gives the email, and then all of a sudden, ManyChat delivers that PDF to the person, adds them to your CRM, and you know exactly what they're interested in because they came in off of that. You can have it reply to just yes, you can have it reply to anything, you can have it reply to other comments of other people. It's really crazy. But if you can create these lead magnets, think of it as like free advertising, right? Because you don't have to pay Facebook and go on there, or you could. You could spend $5 a day on Facebook and just start throwing out guides, beta testing to see which one sticks. And then have ManyChat replying to it, and then have ManyChat delivers it, ManyChat populates your CRM, activates, if you tie it in right to Compass, all of a sudden activates your action campaigns, right? And all of a sudden now someone's getting that communication. All right. If you're not doing it, your competitors are. Because it's out there. The technology is out there and it's easy. And so I just want you guys to be aware, this is the world we're entering into. It's the world we're already in. And I'm trying to get you prepared for that. So market reports. I demonstrated this a little bit earlier with origin point slides. But I find market reports and infographics to be pretty useless. Inventory's up, inventory's down, prices up, prices down, home sales. Who cares? The seller didn't know what that market step meant earlier when I showed you that slide. But I said, when I've got the blog chat thread going already, and I say, interpret this for me for a seller, now that infographic means something. And now you're adding value and interpretation. So if everybody else, if the market, graphics come out on a Monday, and everybody from Compass posts that, guess what everybody's threads are full of? The same infographic, the same hashtags, the same blah, blah, blah. But maybe you take that graphic, you modify it a little bit, and you add some value by interpreting it for people. Now you're getting that some real robustness. So one of the fun things I like to do is Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to have staff that assemble all this data that nobody does anything with. There's so many data pages on all these sites, just incredible amounts of data. Really robust national market reports every single week, every single month. And so what I'll do is I'll say, ChatGPT, or I may go onto perplexity.ai, and I'll say, find the latest market reports from Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor, and it'll give me 3 links. I find perplexity.ai does really great research, so does Gemini, which is Google's AI. ChatGPT can do it too, but I just kind of have my workflows. And I'll say, hey, now that I have these 3 links of all these, the August market reports from these 3 big companies that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars creating them, hey, ChatGPT, can you interpret that for this persona? Because they're watching USA Today, CNN, Fox, they're getting all the national news, and if it bleeds, it leads, and so everything looks bad. How do we interpret this so that it can actually be, like, maybe they get them off the fence and start shopping with me, and maybe start looking at going private exclusive, and maybe kind of move the needle for them. So I have it interpret all this data, and then we're blessed here in Denver that DMAR and RE Colorado do fantastic market reports and infographics that nobody uses, nobody touches, and sellers and buyers never see. So I'll upload one of those reports and say, hey, compare the national data to my local data. Or maybe I'll run my own little report, using the when you go into RE Colorado and has all those little first windows you can pop off to all the little information sites. I'll maybe pull some little custom data for a zip code and a price point, and I'll say, hey, here's the 3-year trend for this price point in this neighborhood. Can you compare that to the national data and write to the person who owns this little neighborhood? How long would it take you, if you had an MBA, to do all this research and write it as a professional copywriter versus the maybe under 5 minutes, which it took me with ChatGPT? They crunched all the data, compared national to local, and interpreted it. And I can even start saying, like, write in this person's tone, write in that person's tone, Who are you trained on that writes really compelling newsletters or blog articles? Who are you trained on that really communicates well with nervous people, right? I can narrow it down and narrow the tone down, or I can upload samples of my own writing and say, write like me. Create a prompt that writes in my style and tone based off these 3 examples. And then now use that prompt to write more in my style while I'm communicating all this wonderful knowledge. And all of this is just to cut through the noise. Because, as we said earlier, people are seeing so many things, right, all day long. It used to be just billboards and radio, but now it's all like social media ad overload. Sometimes on my phone, I can't even see my friends. It's all just ads and Facebook. People experience that? So there's so much noise. All we're trying to do is fight for the right to get an appointment. Little Beastie Boys reference there. I'm aging myself, but you're actually trying to get that appointment, and all your calls to action are, "Hey, can we just have a cup of coffee? Can we sit down and get to know each other? Can you become my new best friend that's going to sell 5 homes with me and refer 4 deals to me and have your kids grow up and buy their first home with me?" That's your ideal client, right? But you have to meet them somewhere. If you're dating, you might go on Match.com or Christian Singles, but in the real estate world, we have to go online and post blogs and videos and all this other stuff. But if your information is solid and it's adding something to people's lives, if it's creating value in that 5 years that they're not buying or selling a home, they're going to come to you as the trusted expert. I just had someone from Tennessee reach out to me and said, "Rick, are you still helping people in Denver? Would you consider selling a home in Aurora?" I said, "Absolutely. Be an honor, refer them to me." But I post on stuff. I haven't talked to this person in 5 years, but they see my stuff. And they come back because they see your stuff, right? So I'm not saying this article is going to get you a listing, but if you post this a lot of times, and if you start scheduling this out, if you make it interesting, you're going to start being found by ChatGPT when people are searching there. Because people are using ChatGPT and Google. Now they're searching in both. So you want to be found by generative AI and be posting articles. I have a client in Hawaii who posts maybe 20, 25 articles a month. But now, because he can, right? It's so easy the way I've taught him. But now, 6 months in, ChatGPT is referring him as the go-to realtor on his island. That's a pretty cool lead source, and it's free. So open house overload. They can take, there's going to be a class coming up in Cherry Creek, I think in October, where one of our fellow Compass agents and I are going to be teaching a class. He does a really good job with open house. I do AI. We're going to merge the two, and another guy's going to teach statistics. But open houses, just diving into this a little bit, some people find them to be a waste of time. Other people find them to be like a lead gold mine. But they can be overwhelming if you don't know how to leverage it. So one of the things I like to say is, hey, ChatGPT, who are you trained on that coaches about open houses? And ChatGPT will say, well, I know Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry. I know, Tim Harris, Julie Harris. I know all these people, right? Okay, great. Based off of all that knowledge that you have, can you create a marketing plan for me for my open house? Here's the stats, here are the pictures, here's the address, here's the date and the time I'm thinking about holding it. And rather than, people went to Tom Ferry last week and they had a great time, they learned a lot, but they're coming back and are they applying it all? Maybe not. But if I say, ChatGPT, you're trained on Tom Ferry, apply it for me. What should I be saying when I go door knocking? What should I be saying in my emails? Who should I be emailing? What should be my cadence? How should I be going about this? AI now can turn you into the Iron Man of open houses, right? Just did that one for old fun. Iron Man has penny loafers, by the way. It's kind of fun too. But in any event, so ChatGPT can turn you into sort of the Iron Man or Iron Woman of open houses and create your flyer copy, create your cadence, create your, tell you, you can drop in a map and show you where to drop your open house signs. I mean, it's ridiculous how good it is. But I didn't go by its general knowledge base. First, I said, who are you trained on that can help me do this? And why do I do that? I do that because I don't want to use the billions of reference points it has. I want it to narrow its focus. I want to start saying, I don't want to go to 1,000 universities in the country. I want to get taught by the 6 top coaches in the world. Now that you've narrowed your focus, now help me apply their wisdom to my problem. And I do that for a lot of things. If I'm writing email newsletters, if I'm writing blog posts, if I'm writing neighborhood pages, no matter what I'm doing, flyer design, if you're going to critique my design, who are you trained on that does really great graphics? And I'll upload my slides and say, can you, now with their wisdom, can you please critique my slides that I created in Canva? And so I'll throw up a slide 6, 7, 8 times as I iterate on it with Canva, and I'll keep reposting it and have ChatGPT refine my slide, refine my graphic, refine my YouTube thumbnail, whatever it might be. But first I say, who are you trained on so I can narrow its focus? Tool recommendations. So this is another guy I really, really like. When you're building out a website, if you do this the way I've been teaching you, please create a prompt that creates a neighborhood page for a real estate website. It'll create a prompt. Please, have a line in there for the neighborhood, and you can all of a sudden, and please create it for this persona. You can write a neighborhood page for a persona on rinse and repeat and post that, and you can probably build up a 100-page website in less than a week. I'm being really conservative there because you could do it in a day if you focus. So you could do it that way, or there's another company called Socrates, created by my friend Lee Moranis. Socrates will actually take your site, analyze it for you, critique it for you, redesign it for you, optimize it for you, and then start posting articles that are really relevant. So it's pretty incredible because it'll rewrite and optimize the pages, generate new articles designed to rank for what customers are searching for right now. Think of it as the world's first AI strategist. If you scan this QR code, Lee created this just for this presentation. He's getting like free founding member status to anybody who does this. I think there are like 35 spots left. But it's free to get more information on what this does. But Socrates will actually, it's designed by like this Doogie Howser brilliant level AI guy, who it literally will scrape and rewrite SEO and prompt and post for you. So you don't have to necessarily use agent image and luxury presence anymore. You don't have to have your, where they say, well, write 5 blog posts a month for you for $300 to $500. Well, SEO it for another 100. Like, really? You're just sending it to someone, to a VA in the Philippines that's doing this with ChatGPT. Like, the skill is not there, is not needed anymore. The expense is not needed anymore if AI can do it for you. So what Socrates does is just gives you an opportunity to explore really bleeding edge technology that will just pretty much write and generate your own site for you. Little pro user tip, I do this so much I almost always forget to teach about it, so I made a slide just around this. If and when you're chatting in something, and you hit return, it's going to send that chat to ChatGPT. If you hit shift return, it will create a line break. And then it can help you organize your thoughts. So this one took me a long time to learn once I did it. Now I hit shift return everywhere I am. But shift return creates a line break, return sends it. I just wanted to anchor that one with its own slide. All right, we hanging in there? I know I'm going really fast. Yeah, all right, cool. And if one of you over there could do me a favor, I just do like one shot of me in front of the room and text it to me after, that'd be awesome. Thank you. It's fun for socials. All right, so phase 2, nurturing and top of mind. So we have follow-up. We fail to follow up. Frequently asked questions, getting referrals, testimonials, CMAs. We're going to go into all those topics right now. So this is sort of that nurturing phase. We found them. We shared a lot of information about them or to them. We won their trust enough to get on our email list or something, and now we've got to nurture them. Thank you for that. So first to respond. This afternoon, I'll be out on a buyer tour. They're rather talkative, so I'm probably going to be on that tour. Even though it's 2 homes, I'll probably be out for an hour and a half. In that hour and a half, what if a lead comes in? I can't respond because I've got to be focused on them and show them they're of value to me and that I appreciate the trust they put in me. And I'm going to be there sharing my expertise. But that lead just came in, and maybe you paid for it on Zillow, maybe they saw your Market Monday updates, and how am I supposed to respond? So you can respond. There's a company called Closebot.ai. Closebot makes really, really easy to use and wonderful little chatbots that pop up. Not the ones that are on MailChimp where you're like, human, let me talk to somebody. I had that experience last night. It really frustrated me. But so it can build like a really intelligent chatbot that answers frequently asked questions for you and responds. I have a client in Healdsburg, which is kind of wine country near Napa in California. He built an interactive avatar of himself that's trained on his knowledge base. That when people are on his website, he can chat with them video-wise. Like they just speak and they type and he speaks back. It's really pretty cool. Some say it's creepy, but others are like, hey, you want to show your tech forward? Just be tech forward. And he's one of the only ones doing that. So now people think of him as a tech forward real estate agent. Anyway, in Compass, we have the wonderful platform. It's brilliant. It's one of the reasons I actually moved to Compass was because of the $1 billion they spent in technology and the way it's going. But in our action plans, in our drips, we can have ChatGPT rewrite those to be more personable, to be more persuasive, to sound more like you. And you can go in there and you can write more tailored one-on-one action plans depending upon the lead source. Because a lead from an open house, a lead from a lead magnet, and a lead from a Facebook ad or a lead from Zillow all have different intention. So you can't set them on the same action plan of new lead. But ChatGPT can help you rewrite that content so quickly and so accurately to a persona that now when all your little Autobots and everything are automatically responding for you, it responds in a more personal way. Or if you do have a VA in the Philippines, they can send a video of you. Someone just came in, boom, hey, I'm not available right now, but I will be in about 2 hours. I wanted to send you a quick video, maybe make an avatar of you in your car, right? Hey, I'm out on the road, and make it like selfie mode. Now the VA types in, hey, I'm out on the road, says your avatar, but I'll be back to you in 2 hours. I just wanted to send a quick video to say hi so you can put a face to the name. And I know you're going to get 400 other calls in the next half hour because your listing just went expired. But I just wanted to introduce myself in the video because I know how important it is to make a human-to-human connection. And I personally, whether you buy or sell with me, I'd just love to have a cup of coffee with you. I'll call you in about 2 hours. Boom, that video goes out. It's a little more intentional than just the auto drips that people are buying. Someone bought a whole bunch of templates, which you used to do back in the day. Frequently asked questions. 23 years of doing this, people ask the same questions a lot, right? And so you spend a lot of time answering those questions. But what if you could build a database and have that AI chatbot, like a Closebot, answering those, or have the interactive avatar? I kind of blended those two slides together. But list your top 20 or 30 questions, or have ChatGPT create 50, 100 questions, and now create videos around it, create pages about it, train your chatbot on it, train your Closebot on it. Connect the bot to your website, to your messenger, and all of a sudden now all those questions are being answered. There are companies out there that, and I used to rep one of these, I don't right now, but inbound voice. So, if you're out on an appointment, you don't want to miss that call, AI voice can answer for you, trained up on the 400 most frequently asked questions on all your current listings, answer questions for you, book an appointment on your calendar, and they can't even tell it's not a human. Inbound call, you don't actually have to reveal it. Outbound, you do. But on an inbound call, you have that, kind of a warm, pleasant female Midwest voice or something, kind of something non-threatening. If someone's in Texas, they'll pick a Texas twang. In New York, they might pick someone more abrasive. But whatever, right? And just meld to your market. But the AI voice can answer, be trained up to sound like you. I wouldn't train it on your voice and pretend it's you. But you can have like hey, this is Susan, Rick's AI assistant. How can I help you? They don't know what an AI assistant is, but you've actually now shared it with them. I was calling about the listing on 123 Main Street. Okay, great. Can you tell me a little bit more about your interest in that property? Whatever direction you want that thread to go. How do you direct that? ChatGPT. Who are you trained on for cold calls? Write a script for me that will guide a prompt that will guide an AI voice to answer the phone for me. And these services are less than like $50 a month, or 25 cents a call or whatever. So you never have to miss a call, and you can answer all the questions. Often a problem as well in phase 2 is losing touch with past clients. I'm really super guilty of this. And I miss referral opportunities. I was really blessed that this woman in Tennessee wrote to me because I have not been staying in touch with her. I sold her mom's house, right? Did a really great job. They moved out of state. I lost touch because people get busy, right? I get busy. But AI and the Compass platform can now create custom campaigns and action plans that are tailored to that person. You can send stuff out to update your database for birthdays, anniversaries, closings, or maybe that first phone call, the painful one where you're trying to reconnect. Like, hey, I know I haven't called you in a while. I'm just trying to update my database. Want to make sure I have your birthday accurate and your anniversary accurate, stuff like that. Because I want to reach out in meaningful moments for you. And I'm going to do a much better job of being a friend and a colleague. So sorry, ChatGPT write that script for me because I suck. Right? And so then you make the calls, you update your database, and then you package it into a better drip sequence. You can layer in market updates, and then you can repurpose some of the content you're using there. If you're writing something really meaningful to one person, maybe other people want to hear it. So take that email and convert it into a social media post. And can you overpost on social media? Absolutely not. If you have 1,000 followers, 5 or 10 saw your business post. Post and repost and add value so that the algorithm can find you. CMAs. Back in the day, I was extremely guilty of back in the day, I mean like 4 years ago. So, it's like AI moves really, really fast, right? So I know I made like a Beastie Boys reference, but this is like 4 years ago. This is in the 2020s, people. So let's say during COVID, maybe somebody called me and said, hey, what's the value of my house if I were to sell it today? And I'd stall for a little bit of some conversation. I'd whip open my browser tabs and, NAR or PR, what's the value? Redfin, what's the value? Zillow, what's the value? Okay, hey, I looked at 3 of my models and your range is between 900 to 950. But, have you done any updates to your home that would impact that value? And I can really only properly discern it from the market and from the neighborhood. If I come over, can I, it's 2 o'clock tomorrow or 9 o'clock on Friday better for you, right? The script we all know and use. But I didn't know how to do a live market update or CMA in the moment. All right, let's do something a little bit more because you're not necessarily going to give them the exact value over the phone. What about an investor? And so an investor deals come out, wholesale deals come out. You might get if you're on enough lists, you might get 5 or 10 a day. Everybody knows the wholesalers' comps are junk and they overinflate the ARV, the after repair value of the home. So I'll get a wholesale deal come in. I'll run some quick comps on MLS, and then I'll screenshot all the pictures that the wholesaler sent me, upload it to ChatGPT. I'll upload the PDF of the comps, all the pictures, the listing history, the descriptions, all at once. And then I've created a prompt, and I say ChatGPT analyzes for me. For my investor, here's their buy box. And in 30 seconds or less, ChatGPT will analyze the ARV for the home, low, mid, and high, the likely cost of construction, knowing I'm in Denver, all the rooms that need to be done, because it read all the images of the home. It read all the images of all the comps, compared them, showed me in a table format what the comps are doing, why they're better, why they're worse, why my value is where it is, and if it meets my buyer's buy box. And it creates a little executive summary up at the top. Here's how it meets the buy box and why Rick thinks you should read this email. So I did this at 9:30 one time, shot it over to the investor. By 11, he was on site looking at the property with 35 other people and wrote an offer. He missed by $5,000, but it was important enough to him. I showed him enough value in that email that he left work and went over and wrote an offer, which would have paid me $10,000 10 days later. So if you can kick out something that takes you $10,000 in 10 days, now you can do CMAs in 30 to 60 seconds. Maybe it took me 3 minutes to iterate and follow up and format it the way I wanted to. But now this investor said, hey, Rick, I missed this one, but good job. Keep sending them to me. You did great work. I added value much better than I could have if I was just looking at it myself and spending 2 hours running this amazing spreadsheet. We would have missed the showing window. There was like a 30-minute showing window one time that week. 23 people wrote offers on that property. My client had to be counseled where to go on that ladder, right? He also had to be motivated to know that this one was actually worth showing up for. So I like to do CMAs, and I'll do my CMA on Compass too. And I'll pull the CMA off of Compass, and I'll do mine, and I'll say, blend these two, show me what I'm missing, right? What else do you need to know to give me a great market value? Now, how do I convince the aspirational seller that needs to sell for this price that this is really the price where they should be? Can you write a soft, encouraging story-bound letter for my seller that's really, really scared of not hitting their aspirational price, right? And I did this when I went on at 520 and they went 475, or it should be 475. We still did it because that's what they need to get. But at least I gave them the shot at being coached at why I think 475 is really where they're going to sell. So when we go on at 520, we miss the market, we come back and we sell at 475, they're not upset with me. Right? Like I gave you all this knowledge, I broke it down for you. Same thing for FSBOs and expireds. We all know that like if you're, I don't know if you're using RedX, Vulcan 7, I like to use Land Voice. I think they do. I think they just have the best data and they're absolutely crushing it on price point. But if you're doing FSBOs, expireds for rent by owners, circle prospecting, all the different variations of data you can get out there, you need to make your voice distinct. Everybody's calling up, hey, if I brought you a buyer, would you still consider selling? Yeah, it's the 30th person that's called me since 8 a.m. I'm really tired of hearing from you people. Hey, ChatGPT, I just got this great information from Land Voice, and who are you trained on for FSBOs and expireds? I'm trained on all these coaches, Burl Workman, Daryl Davis. Okay, great. How would they approach this situation? I've got all this great data. Here's the address. Here's kind of the persona for the neighborhood, buyer persona for this. This just went expired. Here's the listing. Here are the comps. Why didn't it sell? How do I communicate this to the seller in a way that's distinct from everybody else? And if you're wondering, this QR code is just a way to sign up for like the best possible pricing if you ever get on Land Voice. We've just worked out a special deal. Yeah, so at the beginning there was a QR code to sign up, and if you came in late, I'll put that back up for you. You can't, well, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Laura opened up a seat for you. But yeah, so yeah, if you can't see, I'll send this whole slide there. So if you missed this, if you missed any of these QR codes, you can do it later. If you don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to be distracted by Land Voice's amazing pricing right now, you can do it later. But in any event, I put this up here because it's literally like a cup of coffee a day or something like that to get all this data. And I didn't know how to work it, so I never did it. But when Daryl Davis, Furl Workman, and all these people are training you on how to go about it, and they're in your chat thread with you, and they're coaching you on a unique approach or a unique script, or now, how would I say that and sound more like me? Because that sounds too robotic, or that sounds too scripted. How do I stand out when everybody else is doing this? What do I do that's different? And seeing a THL truck out there, I know one coach out there says he has these like fake overnight envelopes. And so he goes and drops these fake overnight envelopes on the front doorstep. He didn't have to pay $20 to send it there. He just he pays a courier to drive it over there or whatever. And he'll do like 30 little overnight envelopes every morning with a courier. But it looks urgent. So someone's going to open that up, read it. Right? So there are all these different approaches out there that you don't have to pay to get anymore. Sorry, coaches, but because ChatGPT knows how to apply it for you in your specific situation, applied to a specific property. Because it'll read the images, it'll read the comps, it'll show you why it didn't sell. And you can create an amazing report. And you can hand drop it off to someone and say, hey, look, I know you're getting like 400 other people telling you what to do, but here's my analysis of your property, why it didn't sell. Here are the personas. Here are 5 personas that I think are likely to buy this home. Here are the comps. Here's my market report on it. And by the way, here's my marketing I've already done addressing all of those different personas. So if you think persona 1, 2, 3, or 4 is more likely to buy, I've already created the listing description, the social media copy, the flyer copy. All of that's right here. Here's an example of some of my past work. And so you can see my quality of my photographer, my videographer. I just wanted to hand this little 50-page report to you. No obligation, no foul. Have a good day, right? Stand out, be something different. I wouldn't use those words necessarily. I'd ask ChatGPT to create a script for me. But is that, maybe if you did overnight that 50-page packet to them, does that stand out different than, would you still sell your home if I brought a buyer? Yeah, why didn't you bring a buyer to my house for sale? I didn't see it because your marketing sucked. Like those scripts don't really work anymore, right? So try to do something a little bit different and have ChatGPT guide you there. Prioritizing leads, which one to call first. So Compass has the more likely to sell function, right? Or most likely to sell, or something like, I can't remember the exact words because I'm still 7 weeks into Compass. But other programs like Lofty and Follow Up Boss have like lead scoring based off their activity in your website. And there are other programs that do that as well, KV Core and all these others. But what you can use AI to start writing new rules for you, and then based off of where they are in your Follow Up Boss or in your Compass, based off of their heat score, you can design different drip campaigns, action plans, and language based off of their heat. Another thing you could do, if you want to really get finite on this, and if you got maybe your top 30 list, upload the emails from your top 30 list one at a time and analyze their disk profile. Say, ChatGPT, here are 5 emails, 10 emails, maybe screenshots of a text conversation I had with somebody. Where are they on the disk profile? Maybe they're a high D, maybe they're a high S, maybe they're a high I, but you've been writing them as a high C. Well, you're not resonating with them. They don't understand you. So if you now start tagging your clients as a DISC or some combination thereof, you can also now start writing in language that they respond to because you sound like them. Is that one a forehead slapper? Thank you. So, because and when I was at EXP for 6 years, someone once said Glenn Sanford, the founder, read emails that sounded like him. So I transcribed a video of him talking. And I said, write in this and create a style guide and a tone guide like this. And whenever I wrote him in the early days when the company was small, I kind of do that. I would write in language that sounded exactly like him. And he was more likely to read it and understand it because he was like, that's the way his brain worked. So take that framework down to, like, let's say you have a doctor, a tech nerd of Google, or maybe you have a stay-at-home dad, or maybe you have whatever you have, right? Take their language, find their disk profile, and write in a way that sounds like them. If it's spur of the moment, just take your email thread, upload it to ChatGPT, say, how should I respond to this person in a way that mirrors their voice and mirrors their tone and style? Write your response, copy it out, paste it back into your Gmail, which Compass provides for you. And now you're writing in a way that's more congruent with the way that they speak and sound. If you're in an inflammatory situation, hey, who are you trained on for this? I'm in a little bit of trouble. Sometimes I'm in hot water with my daughter. I really blew it, right? How should I address this and calm this situation back down? Or if you're on the way to a negotiation, I know I'm getting off of CRM data here for a moment, but let's dive into this expert topic for a moment longer. Let's say you're in this negotiation period. They're at $1.1 million, you're at $1 million. Everybody's like, well, let's just go $1.05 million, split the difference. Well, there's a book out there called Never Split the Difference. So, hey, ChatGPT, are you trained on the book Never Split the Difference? Here's where we are. Here's the communication. Here's our offer. Here's their offer. What should I do? How should I apply the wisdom of this expert who sold 1 million books to my given situation? That's where I say you have 1,000 PhDs in your pocket if you stop to think that you actually can use that in any given situation. To stop and say, how can AI be my sidekick in any given situation? And then say, what do you need to know about me to do a better job replying? Chat with it, interact with it. What do you need to know to do a better job? If you hired a human, what do you need to know to do a better job? You don't know how to market my homes. You're brand new. Well, it'd be nice if I knew how to use the Compass system. It'd be nice if I knew who your photographer was. It'd be nice if I knew your style and tone. Okay, great. ChatGPT needs to know the same kind of things. And it has a memory, so it'll start learning about you and start learning from you. But if you ask it questions like, hey, what else do you need to know to do the best job possible on this? Who are you writing to? What's your goal? What's your objective? What tone do you want me to write in? Some basics. Otherwise, act like a professional copywriter. It's going to get you garbage. Yeah.
Because it has that memory, I've noticed that it has a section where you can do a private chat or
Temporary chat?
temporary chat.
Yeah.
Do you ever use that? And if so, when? I've used it specifically when I put my kids' math problem.
Yeah.
But do you see value? What's your thinking about when you use it at all?
Yeah, so temporary chat's good for personal reasons, right? If you're anger management therapists, might not want ChatGPT to know that's my nature. Or like, hey, I'm dealing with my kids on some issue, or like, playing around with stuff, or sometimes sensitive data. It's technically not supposed to remember the data if you do a temporary chat. I would never put in social security numbers, bank accounts, stuff like that. Just like be smart. But temporary chats are supposed to protect some of that information. It's not supposed to build the knowledge base. Like Claude just started saying, there's a setting in Claude.ai, which I use a lot for like longer writing, longer prose, where it says, hey, everything's going to be stored for 5 years unless you uncheck the button. Training the model. It's using everybody's input to further train the model. So that's when I kind of advocate using temporary chat. Also, like my ChatGPT memory is full. So you can click on that, you can go and delete chats that would be relevant and refine it down to things that are more relevant to it helping learn about you. But that's only in the paid version, the $20 a month version. We're not going to be able to go into all of this, but I'm going to go a little quickly, if I haven't been going quickly already. So in the conversion phase, I like to think put it this way. I coach $1 million agents, I coach $100 million teams. I've been coaching 500 plus the top 1% luxury agents in the world for the past 2 years. And all of them are saying revenue's down. Right? There are some unicorns out there, but overall, the market's slower, inventory's softer, revenue's down. So I talked to some folks over at Picasso. There's a rep up in Boulder. It's like, are you aware there's a whole new revenue stream here? And I was like, well, how can AI help us capitalize on this revenue stream? And then the revenue stream is Picasso does like eighth to half ownership of vacation homes. And it's full ownership, but they're all fully maintained, they're all fully cleaned, they're all everything. So I said, well, AI can spot prospects and create campaigns identifying people who wanted to buy in Vail in 1970s prices, or they want to buy in Breckenridge, but they're not quite able to get up to that point yet, right? Or they're like, hey, I'd love to get up there, but I know with my family, I can only really get up 1 week a month, if that. So I don't want to own a $4 million house, but I'd like to own a week, but that whole timeshare thing's scary. So Picasso does fractional ownership, and this little QR code, there's no cost, there's nothing there, there's no cost to belong. It just gives you some marketing materials. But I've searched my CRM for high-income clients with vacation, investment, or lifestyle notes. I can now draft outreach with emails, texts, and videos with my avatar, tailored to why an eighth to a half ownership actually makes sense. And then with turnkey management, all you have to do is hand off the lead to Picasso, and the average commission they paid out in 2024 was $34,895. That's pretty good side hustle. So people say, should I drive for Uber? I'm like, no, you should find a fractional owner, right? What if you ran a lead magnet about the benefits of fractional ownership? You know how to create a lead magnet. You know how to have ManyChat delivery. You know how to have your avatar talk to it. You know how to close bot. You have to answer questions about it. There was something when Marnie, who lives up in Boulder, said, Rick, an agent approached me last week and said, I just got a paycheck. I have no idea who this person is. But it just came from their lead generation, their advertising. The lead came in, it was tied to that person based off of the marketing materials and the QR code. The lead came in, was tied to that person. Picasso sold him, Picasso closed him, that person got paid an average of $34,895. So I'm like, AI can help me build an additional revenue stream. If I close 2 of these this year, that dramatically changes my family this year. Like allows us to go to different vacations, plan differently for colleges, whatever. Makes Christmas a lot more fun. So more conversion. I stumble when my clients push back. Now I've got data lag here. So I stumble when my clients push back. How do I handle objections? Well, yes, a lot of coaches say role play first thing in the morning. Well, I need a role play partner. I need that role play partner to be good. AI can actually be your role play partner, and you can have a live chat with AI and train it up to objection handle for you, and then coach you on that. There are programs out there, like I know, like Ylopa developed Maverick, and there's this whole program where it's all built in and trained. But you can also just ask ChatGPT, who are you trained on for objection handling? I need to create, someone to role play with. And whether you do it via voice or whether you do it via typing is up to you, but that works. Now there's a significant lag here I don't know how to fix. Listing presentation. If you feel like your listing presentation is generic for some reason, research 10 competitors that you find are really good, upload theirs and yours to ChatGPT and say, can you critique my presentation for style, for tone, for content? How do I make it stand out above the 10 best I just found? Where do you find the 10 best? All sorts of companies are saying, here are five best listing presentations ever, right? Real Geeks and Luxury Presence, all these companies throw those out as lead magnets. So take all the best in the world and say, how does my listing presentation stack up and how can I improve it? Do I need to improve the graphics? Do I need to improve the language? Do I need to improve whatever it might be? Yeah. And then write it for a buyer persona. Woo, that's fun. Write it for a buyer persona. Write it for a disc profile. What if you had 4 listing presentations for D, I, S, and C? And now, based off of your interaction with someone before you go on the listing appointment, ChatGPT read their emails and your text conversations and said, hey, this person's a high D. You pull out your high D listing presentation and give it to them. It speaks to that person in a language that resonates with them, to the persona that they likely are as a high D. And now you also ask ChatGPT, how do I modify my time at their house so I resonate with them in a way that they actually will hear me? Because natively, maybe I'm not a high D. Maybe I'm an SC, or maybe an IS, or whatever. But I'm going in, I'm trying to win a $5 million listing from a high driver. I better sure as heck bring a high driver style to them that they understand. So another way you can change for buyer consultation, same thing. I don't know why this is doing this. Here we go. Try to close out, bring back in. All right. Sweet. Appointment setting. So what to say, for turning those conversations into appointments. So again, writing the scripts, writing the texts, writing emails tailored to your person. Offers and negotiations. I covered this a little bit earlier. Who are you trained on that can help me with these negotiations? A hostage negotiator, maybe for an inspection objection resolution situation. But prep that. Or oftentimes I'll say, like, here's an inspection report. I had a client moving from Tesla in California up here to Colorado in the mountains. Well and septic reports came in. Have they ever seen a well and septic report? Heck no. Do I know how to translate that for them? Probably not. So I uploaded the well and septic to ChatGPT and I said, what's important for my home buyer? What do they need to know? How do I share this information with them in a way that they can understand it? And I wrote an email explaining the well and septic. And I also uploaded the inspection report. Hey, can you scan through this quickly? What are the red flags? What's the likely cost to fix this, given the market we're in? And what's the strategy for coaching my buyer on this? And on the well and septic, my client's like, did you use ChatGPT for this? I said, absolutely. He's like, well, hold on. Right? Don't back down from it. Be the tech forward agent. Your clients are using AI. They're expecting you to use AI. Now, I don't want all my articles to sound like they're written in AI, so I do put on the professional and personal pixie dust. And just one other caveat, like, you are responsible for anything you or a human creates and sends out with your name on it. So read it, right? If you don't want to spend 3 minutes reading it, neither does your client. So do read it. And if you want to add like a little personal story, hit the little microphone, dictate your story, hit the microphone to stop it and say, ChatGPT, weave this into the article. It'll rewrite the article and it'll naturally incorporate your whole story in there. And that little personal, professional pixie dust might be the thing that puts it over the edge and shows that tone. Whereas on a septic report, I don't really care. Testimonials, same thing, like a script or a video prompt or some way to get your clients to give you testimonials after the fact. Just had a client did a really great job at Idaho Springs, but how do you get that testimonial out from them without begging and sounding like, right? A little self-serving. So have ChatGPT write your script for that. And then phase 4 is access to the vault. I'm going to go over a few more problems that I do address, but I don't have time to address in 2 hours. This could be like an 8-hour class, 10-hour class, right? So few more problems that I know realtors have: creating neighborhood pages, website updating, interpreting HOA docs, like getting all those financials, all those meeting minutes, all those board notes. If you're a client, have a nice day, right? But what's important in there? What do they need to know about the HOA? So having ChatGPT write those up for you: inspection, objections, resolutions, video editing, avatars. You can create fun stuff like Bigfoot, or you can do like music creation for your listing videos and have copyright-free custom music. The AI video creation, you talking to Bigfoot at a convention about the housing market, AI social media ads, documenting workflows, getting your best SOPs so you can actually bring on that assistant. Ways to do that easily, ways to evaluate AI tech, because there are 100 new tools coming out every single week. How to learn from the greats. More virtual staging things that I did on site in a vacant room for this home up in Boulder, showing man cave versus child way. When we bring in a stager, which way should we do this? This was a man cave for like a 40-year-old professional. This was, kid dungeon. Doing virtual podcasts, having man and woman, man and man, video or not video, talking about you and your services in a way that sounds like it's a really authentic podcast. It's really cool. Shorten your YouTube learning. I don't have time to watch hour-long videos, but AI can take the transcript or look at the video, tell me the top 5 points, where they are, and look, I can jump into minute 23:42, watch that, but I don't have to watch the whole hour-long thing. Probably 50% of it was the sales pitch. Great work plans for conferences. I have Otter running every time at a conference. And people were at Tom Ferry, have Otter running the entire time. Then throw the transcripts of it in ChatGPT. How do I apply this to my business this week? If I were to spend 1 hour a day applying AI to my business from this conference, applying this conference to my work 1 hour a day, how would I do it? And actually getting value from the $1,500 you spend going to a conference. Travel planning, I plan all my road trips and everything with my kids with AI. Creating a voice guide, custom outdoor avatars, because the ones I was talking about were you kind of in a studio, but there are ways now where I can take a picture of me, I can put me in any scene in the world, and then I can animate that scene, and it looks exactly like me. So that was a lot. We're not done yet, but I do want to take 3 minutes where you just turn to a neighbor and that one thing you said you were going to apply, share it with each other. Like, what's one thing you're going to take away from today? So share that for just a couple minutes.
Are you using? Yeah.
Any challenges? You go
So many.
What's your Alrighty. Does anybody want to share the one thing from themselves or the one thing from their neighbor with the whole crowd?
Yeah, I go. I mean, I'm wasting a lot of time in tasks that AI can definitely, if not do for me and our team, at least level up in less time. So I know it's kind of a high level. Like, one thing we can do, like I've got a stale listing right now, and I think we can like screenshot, send the link, do some deep research. How can we pump some juice into this listing and market it more effectively that doesn't involve sitting at an open house for 3 or 4 hours with no fluff?
Great example. So I did that with the listing up at Idaho Springs, totally stale.
Yeah.
I uploaded the listing, I uploaded all the comps to ChatGPT, and I said, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
What can we do different? And they said, well, you're kind of staged mountain. You can be more mountain modern.
Mm.
And here's a room by room guide of how you should do that. I said, well, can you create a couple pictures of what those rooms would look like? It created a staging guide. It created a buying guide from Amazon. Within 3 days, my client had transformed her entire house. She was motivated.
Nice.
She spent less than $500 on Amazon. She swapped out all her blankets and comforters. She swapped out all her pillows. She updated went from the red and green plaids to blue and whites and cleans and sharps. I did a new photo shoot the next day. We went back to the market. We did eventually sell, but it gave it a fresh look.
Right.
It gave it a fresh pop.
Yeah.
And it based it off of the competition because it read all of their pictures. It read our pictures and went, yeah,
Right.
you're looking a little stale.
Right.
You're looking a little dated. You look like you lived there for 30 years. And they have. And it was a beautiful home. But refreshed, it actually presented better.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting multiple people interested, whereas we had nobody interested before.
Right.
So yeah, that's one use for ChatGPT for sure. Is anybody in the back table there?
One idea of getting myself, so that's what we take.
The buyer personas? Yeah.
Using the experts in what is your source for your information, friendly masses.
Yeah, there's a Boulder agent I really, really respect who years ago, maybe 7 years ago, pre-COVID, whatever that was. She said, Rick, the key to my success is I have a really good avatar. And she had 40 pages written out of who this person was, what books they read, what coffee they drank, what they like to do. She said, I know I can tailor all my marketing to this persona. And I was like, wow, I don't really want to spend 4 weeks doing that kind of research on this person I've never met, and that I might not market to all the time because I can't niche down that much. But now AI can do a persona for every single thing you're writing and really nuance that language. Every listing, every blog post, every email. It's just a game changer. Buyer or seller, it's a game changer. One other idea? Yeah? All right. So I appreciate you sharing those things, but now what to do, right? Because you've had all this knowledge. What do you do now? So there are 3 options. One is you don't do anything. I hope you realize by now you're going to get smoked. Like, your business will not stay the same. Your business will definitely not stay the same because all your competitors that are grabbing market share right now are starting to use AI. They're starting to use virtual assistants. They're becoming more productive. You can learn this by yourself. I've spent 2 years going down every rabbit hole, getting every certification, taking every course all the way up to MIT that I can find to learn AI. And I've wasted a lot of time, and my production tanked last year. It really did. I think for like the past year and a half, 2 years, I've sold like half as many homes because I've spent so much time online learning all this stuff, right? So you can do this by yourself. It's going to take a long learning curve. I'm trying to make this so easy that you can do it with me. So when you're working with me, we get deep dives on all of today's sessions. We get access to 25 plus more lessons in the vault. I'm doing 3 live weekly sessions, so 45 minutes, 3 times a week on one session solely dedicated to implementing lead gen. And my laptop's open, your laptop's open, we're on Zoom, and we're just working through a problem, and you're actually working while you're doing it. So it's not a lesson, it's not a course, it's a co-working session where you're working on your business. So we'll take your stale listing, I'll take my stale listing, I'll show you what I'm doing, you do it on yours, and you get the muscle memory from doing it. We do that on phase 1, we do another 45 minutes on phase 2, another 45 minutes on phase 3. I've got AI playbooks on everything from like lead gen to follow-up boss to content marketing to social media, and you get all live updates and feature material. When I'm working with people independently, it's not going to be $1,000, don't worry. But I do charge $1,000 a month for my one-on-one coaching, and I'm really putting together $5,000 worth of value in this training session. When I go to market someday with this, it's going to be $47 a month. That is not what I'm charging you. We're offering to you, I'm not even offering $27, which I think is a ridiculously low price. And this will be the launch price, and it'll be the lowest price you ever get on this. But our friends at Picasso are underwriting that, and they're paying $20 on your behalf. So for the next 30 days, you can actually try this out for $7. So for $7, you get 3 weekly training sessions a week with me. So that's 10 hours a month, co-working with me. You get all the access to the vault. Right now, I've got a beginner's AI class up there. It's 6 classes, just orienting you to Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, free and paid, and Gemini. Because the people said, Rick, I don't even know what you're talking about when you're up here in front of the room. So I created a whole like beginner section. I've already built out phase 1. I'm going to be adding phase 2 and phase 3 this week, and then building out the rest of the vault. And one of the reasons the price is so low is this is the launch phase. You're the 3rd people to ever see this, or the 3rd room to ever see this offer. And so it's not fully built out yet, but you are going to get, like starting this Thursday, 3 live sessions with me. And every week thereafter, 3 live sessions with me. So this is the big sale that you might have been afraid of. You can't spend more than $7 with me. Don't be too scared. You spend it on your latte on the way over. So I just want to help as many agents as I can. And I can't do that if you're not in the room with me. And so I try to make it as affordable as possible to get in the room with me so that I can help my fellow Compass agents move ahead of the competition. And we're starting the AI beta group. If you were at the retreat or if you heard about the retreat, Compass AI is doing some amazing things. I think I might be even calling it alpha, but I'm starting that. And when I learn stuff in that, I'm going to be bringing it down to these sessions as well and doing training sessions on what's coming, so that you're ahead of the curve and you know how to use it when it launches, when other people still don't even know what it is. So I'm trying to make this as affordable as possible. The 27th is the lowest price you'll ever see. It'll probably go to $47.97. But if you use the promo code Picasso, thank you, Picasso, for underwriting this. They said, Rick, we love your presentation. We love what you're doing for agents. We'd love to make it $7. So that's the big close. And I'm here for any questions if you have any. So thank you.